Hello everyone, John Marshall, the DrillMaster here with another video critique. Now, this time I have a different computer and a different camera. I've got a little bit different setup in here, although you can't tell, but I've been able to finally get rid of the video lag. So, yay, no more video lag there. And I had to replace the camera from my laptop. Thanks, Matt, by the way. Appreciate it. Because even the laptop is a little slow. So this is an older laptop, but it's much more fast inside. So this will help immensely. Anyway, so Cypress Creek High School. This is the platoon exhibition. And we're going to get started right now. Okay, so... and watch this. I can stop, and then I can play, and there's no lag. Yay! All right. So, team, why dress right in a normal fashion? Now, I know this is you're in column formation, and you don't dress in column formation. I get that, but my question is, you can do this. This is no problem. But I would give it another name. I wouldn't say just dress right, dress ready front, and you'll possibly say cover after this. So don't do that at all. This is you're exhibitionizing regulation drill movements, and that's not communicating well with the people in your audience who actually understand the difference between regulation drill and exhibition drill. So you're going to have to create different names. And it could be just something silly that or at least something that you think is silly, but it'll come across much better and it'll help people understand what you're doing. This dress right here, and then let's watch. Yep, ready front. And you even call cover. So, and the commander is centered on the left side of the platoon, calling attention. And now that was a nice opening statement there, but what you could have done, I think this would have helped immensely, is instead of calling for them to dress and cover ready front, all this leading up to this, what you could have done is marched the platoon up and given them parade rest, or even the ceremonial version of parade rest, ceremonial at ease, stand at ease. Stand at ease is more for colors, but still, I mean, it doesn't matter. You can use this. This is exhibition drill, so you use stand at ease or ceremonial at ease. And I would suggest ceremonial at ease because it's a little more flashy. There's a little bit more movement to that. See, colors. We don't want to look flashy. We want to be very professional, very conservative there. That's why there's a difference. So, but here, what you could have done was march the team up and given ceremonial at ease, and then called them to attention. They could have gone to attention, dressed automatically. But a different, you could have doubled your spacing, which would have been interesting. You could have marched in and doubled your spacing, and then as you start to march out, you could all have moved into the center squad, having first and third, move in like this, and then march forward, which I think really would have enhanced everything. But you could have done all of that. As soon as you called attention, have them get their dress, have them get their alignment. Even the Navy ceremonial guard drill team has a version of dressing, but they dress center. They have their rifles up. Have a look. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. And then even have them, and look at this. I can move back really quickly and have them do this. And see, look, there's no lag in my video. This is fantastic. I love this. This is just great. And forward, having them look up on like that was great. Oh, and the female cadet lost her cover on that. So on that stop, on that spin stop. I think this is great. Now watch the spin stop here. Watch. See, what happens here is the team doesn't... I'm so used to a lag. Now watch. Little bit of variation of technique here. You start out, and I don't have a camera 2 now. You start out and you drop the rifle all the way down so that it's barrel pointing down, which is exactly what you want to do on the beginning of a spin. But not everybody went completely barrel down, so there was a little bit of variation of technique. Now here, and on the stop as well, as you're spinning, you reach up and you don't. If it's a forceful spin, now. No offense at all to our female cadet back here who unfortunately just lost her cover. That's not a big deal. But no offense at all. I mean, she's spinning an 8.5-pound weapon. That's awesome. However, some who are beginning exhibition drillers and many female cadets cannot necessarily stop that force of the spin. So what they do is they will stop the rifle when it comes to here. So the rifle's coming here, you grab it, and then you're able to slow it down here. So it looks like you put your hand right there and the rifle just went smack, and you're able to stop it that way. So maybe that's a technique that some of the team members can explore to help the rifle look like it's stopped completely vertically. And, you know, there's a time that we all build up strength and we build up stamina. So this is part of that, most likely. All right, look here as I move my cursor around. Little bit of tempo variation here. Several heels hitting the deck. Some these two actually right here seem to be in time, but they're behind the commander. And commander marching out outside with a rifle can lack a certain power that can come across unless you start integrating yourself within the platoon and in different times. But I would suggest either keep the rifle and integrate yourself, or move to a sword, and then then you can stand off to the side actually for some of the movements. All right, so let's keep going here. So a little bit of phasing, and calling cadence coming in is not necessarily a good thing. So, Commander, you're standing in front of your... Look at that. That was a great sequence, ripple sequence back. I like that. It really communicated well. Except, Commander, you're standing in front of the team. And, okay, you're centered on the judge. So far, what you have is some exhibition movement in a regulation setting. So you're the commander, you're to the left of the team, you're centered. You didn't stay centered on the march in, so when you faced, then now you had to adjust. Commanders never ever adjust. If you don't hit the mark exactly, don't adjust, because as a judge I look at that and you can't what I say to myself is you can't find you can't find the exact center, you can't find the place that you want to hit, and you haven't practiced enough. And yeah, it takes a lot of practice. My very first parade that I ever was the commander for, I started our sequence too late, so that by the time we were able to report in to the head judge for the parade, we were completely off, and I was facing off this way. We lost. It was an absolute failure, all because of me, because I couldn't judge that distance well enough. I needed more practice. Lots more practice. And I gained that. Now, see, just a suggestion here. I would have not had the team stay in a block formation. I would have maybe angled it off a bit like this, so that you have the look of two wedges. I would have had the commander, if you need to start outside of the team, which, you have a full team, so being outside with the rifle is okay. But I would have had you start on the other side. Can you see my? Okay, yes. So I would have had you start on the other side, and then as each of the squads is performing, I would have had you marching through. By the time the last squad finished, then you're ready to report in, instead of having to turn around and all that kind of stuff. So you're lacking this flow. This really, you get a good momentum, and then all of a sudden it goes boom. And we have to have the report in for exhibition drill, and even sometimes the report out. Hopefully you don't have to have what California forces everybody to do, which is a request permission to continue, which is just silly, honestly. So, having having two sections of your performance there where you have to report in and report out, that's not a big deal. But it's the lead up to it, and to each of them, and also the movement away from the report in and report out, that is it's going to either kill momentum or reinvigorate it. Orlando, you're not too far. And about face, it just... And that was a nice move, although it could have been set up much easier. You didn't have a flow, a horizontal flow there at all to start that off. And Commander, again, you march up to center yourself. You face the platoon, just like in regulation drill. Why do that? And here we had an adjustment here. And so now, and it's the move that you're almost performing is what I call delta, which is fine. This is great, and calling each squad rear march. That's a thing that's actually used in, I don't know if it's used in Navy Basic, but it's at least, or Navy Boot Camp, but it is used in Marine Corps Boot Camp for the recruits who can march advanced types of moves, and then going into winds and all that stuff. It's really cool. It's been around for many decades now, at least since the 50s. And that's good. However, Commander, you didn't integrate yourself with the team. This could have been something where you could have slipped in there. They're in a nice long straight line. I know that it's staggered back, but you could have put yourself in there and blended, instead of just standing there at port. Anybody can stand at port, can't they? And this still just, and you're adjusting again so that you're centered and calling cadence, and you're marching at port. Oh, that's nice. I like that. This is good. But those who are marking time, you're speeding up. And again, you're in a long line. You formed it differently, okay, but still, you're in a long line. So you call the right flank So this is exhibitionized, continued exhibitionized regulation drill. So, Commander, is the focus supposed to be on you, or is the focus supposed to be on the team? And you're standing at port again. Is there something else you could have done? Yeah, you could have blended in, either at the end, somewhere in the middle, executed a nice ripple there, but stopping and having the pause there and having to call commands, that just really retards the flow of what you started to build there. You've started to build a nice visual flow to where the audience, and what I mean by flow is, it's not the flow drill that soloists do. That's different. But this horizontal flow that I'm talking about is, over time, the performance is watched by the audience. So the audience, once you start to build a flow, it's almost, now think of it this way, it's almost as though the audience can go, okay, oh, look at that, that's really cool how they do that, as I'm watching the line form. And then I'm looking back and forth with the ripples that you were doing. But then all of a sudden there's movement in front of the ripple line, and the movement is you, Commander. You're in front of the ripple line. You're moving at an entirely different visual tempo, but the ripple line's going back and forth. And so what you're doing, you don't know this, but that's okay. What you're doing is interrupting the performance there of the team. You don't have to be centered 3 steps away from the team. This is exhibition drill. You can be anywhere you want. You can put yourself anywhere you want. And I really think that you should program this entire routine so that you can disappear sometime. Just disappear right into the platoon, become a performer. You have a rifle. You are a performer on the field. Blend in with the team. If you're not going to blend in, grab a sword and stand over here while the rest of the team performs. Now, you can still integrate yourself in there at different times, but a lot of the time, you're not going to be there if you have a sword. Since you have a rifle, you can be there and integrate yourself with the team and not exhibitionize your regulation ideas. Let's see here. So you're forming a cordon. So why would you pass through? Great. That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, you're leaving it. Oh, you could have done more. You could have done more there. That would have been great. And the commander could have walked up and down. All right, you're leaving it. But that was great stuff. You had a couple of repetitions of the same thing, which is fine. But you all did, the cordon did simultaneous movement, and you could have rippled back and forth there, and really taken that cordon and developed everything that it could possibly happen. It's like taking an orange and squeezing it until the very last drop comes out so that you have your full glass of orange juice. Being in Florida, that's what we drink. But what you've done is you've gone squeeze, and then you throw the orange away. So I would love to see more development in that area of the cordon. All right, so let's see what you move into here. All right, backing into a circle. It taking a long time. You could easily count the number of steps that could move into the circle there. a ripple pickup. Okay. Now, I saw that right there. Good recovery. Very good. You didn't bring your hand down for whatever reason. I didn't see the reason why, but I saw the arm up and you stayed there, and then at the appropriate time, then you brought your arm down. Excellent job, drill team member there. That was awesome. It was a lot of repetition so I get including everybody around the circle in that the fancified order sequence. That was okay. I get it. You repeat it and you pick up everybody. But to have everybody then continue to do it, it's a little monotonous. Just a little. Let's go back here. Now that I don't have any lag time, I can... yeah, okay. And this is nice. It works. It's a standard move for circles. Having an inner circle and outer circle, it works well. But it's still the same movements in the outside circle. The outer circle just doesn't seem to great tosses there. And so, however, you've got the rifle slam, toss, slowly face, pause, rifle slam, toss. It's just dragging on there. And the timing here is just not really working well at all. What you could have is you could have the butt slam for the first toss, but then toss, face, toss, even face again, toss, even face again, and toss again. So having that happen much quicker is going to really create intensity in your communication with your audience. And that's really what you want to do here. The tosses are great because they have an air of danger. But when you have toss, 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 and you're facing, and you can face all around and get those 4 tosses in, then holy cow, that's even better. And the audience doesn't know what hit them, as it were. Back into the cordon. Okay, let's see if you... I hope you develop some more of this. And just marking time. You know, everybody can mark time. Everybody can mark time at port. So, as a judge, what are you giving me that's going to be a positive way to remember you? I can remember many teams in lots of negative ways, but what's going to be the wow, Cypress Creek? Yeah, I remember when all the judges are talking later on. Yeah, Cypress Creek, that was the team that did the, whatever it was. So okay, good. So now we have the ripple effect. So I would suggest moving into the cordon, performing everything in the cordon, moving into the circle, and then away from the circle. Don't go back into the cordon. It's like moving into the cordon, into the circle, and then going, oh yeah, we forgot this. There, we finished. Okay, so now we can move on. So as a suggestion, I wouldn't move back into the cordon. All right, so a bit of repetition here for moving out, and side steps honestly don't work all that well. And I'm really glad you didn't expand the wedge further with the or farther with the side steps. But I would honestly say having a wider wedge is going to be much more effective than a relatively skinny wedge that you have here. But Commander, when you looked and then adjusted your step so that it's just not it's not the performance isn't flowing well at all. It's and I'll use the term that I've overused already. It's exhibitionized regulation drill. And that's a good way to, when you're beginning in exhibition drill, that's a good way to start. You then expand and start to move away from the regulation portions of your drill, whether you're a soloist, a tandem, or an entire team. And then you start moving into exhibition drill moves only. No about face, no making sure that you're centered on the platoon, integrating yourself, if you're a commander, into the platoon, performing with the platoon. Really, what Commander, what you've done so far is you've stayed at port arms for so. And I forgot to mention this earlier. Look at the technique here. So your arm is practically, your right forearm is practically straight up, whereas we have salutes here in the team. A little bit of a bent wrist there. So I know that the rifle limits what you're doing, but look where the elbow is, on top of or behind, under. So lots of variation of technique there. But Commander, you don't even have your rifle horizontal, whereas it looks like everybody else does. See, elbows on top, on top, on top, on top. But and maybe it's arm length that restricts the technique there. So the variation, you've been almost entirely different from the platoon the whole time. So you've not really integrated yourself into the platoon as a member or with your movement. So calling the command to present arms, you could have performed with them. You don't have to do things after. A ripple voice. And you could have used sir, to be your command, to then start the team off into whatever you're going to perform as you begin to leave the field. Everybody can mark time. Now, you have fantastic execution throughout most of this, most of the routine. The very good precision. Well, here it's a little bit of a mix, but still, where's the uniqueness? And see, Commander, you're not even marching at the same tempo as the rest of the team. So why? Is there some sort of dramatic effect that you're trying to get across? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it. And again, you center yourself. All right. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity to critique this, and I've said a lot here. Honestly, how long am I going here? So I'm at 30 minutes for an almost 8-minute routine, which is not actually uncommon for a critique. But I really think you should take another look at the routine, and instead of having an us and them type of feeling about it, us being commander, them being team, have have an integration, have the commander perform with the team. There's and I'll give you another example from when I was a cadet. I as the commander, I marched on the outside of the team, just in like this case. But everything that we would march, I would march either with the first squad or second rank. First element, actually, since I was Air Force. So I would match whatever, especially with the doing blackout delta and different things like that. Check out the boxes of 3, and I'll link that below. The boxes of 3 method, how to write drill, one of my articles. I would match different parts of the flight as we were marching the routine. So even though I was in a commander position, I still was integrated into the moves. Whereas commander here, you didn't integrate yourself at all. You were set apart as the commander, and it just didn't. It was quite awkward, actually, visually awkward, to have you out there with the team. I would say try and call as few commands as possible. Link some of your moves together so that you're counting the steps. You're waiting for a signal from whoever is last to execute the ripple line, to then move on to something else, something like that. Think of creative ways to give commands, with that signal or something like that. So it's going to help you creating a much better flow throughout the routine, to have your audience engaged long enough to be able to say, hey, man, that's great. So that, like I was doing before, they can sit back, kind of relax and go, oh, wow, that's awesome. And you can build that intensity, and they can still watch that and go, oh, that's great. Oh, hey, did you see that? Did you see how they did, whatever it is that you're going for? So I really think that there's immense potential here, because, like I said, the execution is very, very good throughout almost all of the routine. So you've put in the effort of practice after practice after practice. Now, if you take a few of my suggestions and work those in there, I really think that you can have a very effective routine that will communicate well and engage your audience. All right. Again, thank you. I appreciate it.